Okay, let's have a look at some government and corporate writing, because I know that a lot of people here today are from government, like myself. I see a lot of common problems. I'm an editor, so I've just kind of got that hypercritical thing in my brain that makes me identify all of these things naturally, but I see a lot of buzzwords. Particularly, I came back from maternity leave in February. I had 18 months off, and I was like, oh my God, I can't understand any of this language, because you have to sort of retune your brain to sort of think in that way. Buzzwords like bandwidth, sustainability and framework. Cliches, so think outside the square, low-hanging fruit and bottom line. Verbosity, which is just a big word to say big words. Purchase instead of buy, or attempt instead of try. Gobbledygook, so meaningless words like strategic implementation and deliverables. Acronyms and initialisms, so PID, DCITY and WYSIWYG. Does everyone know what those stand for? Any volunteers? Bonus chocolate man? Yes, okay, great. So what you see is what you get is actually when you do web editing, and it refers to the interface that you use. So rather than typing your web text in code and doing all the formatting in code, it actually is just like a Word document editor where all the formatting is applied automatically for you. So what you see is what you get. DCITY, who's from DCITY here? All right, can you tell us what it means? Because I've totally forgotten. Yeah, okay, great. And PID, there's actually a couple of different things that PID can mean, but you can have project initiation document or similar things like that. So there you go. Nominalisations. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term, but you're probably familiar with the type of word it is. So nouns formed from other parts of speech. Agreement rather than agree, or collaboration rather than collaborate. And one more, doublespeak, deliberately tricky phrasing to disguise the truth, which is something that politicians really enjoy doing. Here's a great example of that. It's from Monty Burns in The Simpsons. He says, oh, meltdown. It's one of those annoying buzzwords. We prefer to call it an unrequested fission surplus. I'd like to have a little extra look at nominalisations here, because this is one of the most common problems I see in government and corporate writing. So I discovered this really excellent resource online, which I'll tell you about in a second. Nominalisations can be called zombie nouns because they cannibalise active verbs, suck the lifeblood from adjectives and substitute abstract entities for human beings. I'm not actually allowed to show you the video here today, but I encourage you to go online and have a look, because a woman called Helen Sword who actually wrote this book, which is an excellent book called Stylish Academic Writing, which I put in your list of resources. She's actually done a TED Ed lesson purely on this topic. And if you're familiar with the topic, you'll get a kick out of it anyway, because the animations are really hilarious. But if not, it'll actually help you clarify what a nominalisation is and why it's problematic. So here's an example she gives from that. The proliferation of nominalisations in a discursive formation may be an indication of a tendency towards pomposity and abstraction. Does anyone know what that sentence means? So if you actually take out the nominalisations, which are the words in italics, it becomes writers who overload their sentences with nominalisations tend to sound pompous and abstract. So it's much easier to understand that sentence if you break it down into plain language. Okay, here's an example. The committee, in collaboration with respective business groups and key stakeholders, provides strategic leadership through the development and implementation of strategies that deliver on departmental priorities. Is this the kind of sentence that you come across in your work? Yeah, okay. What I would like you to do is open up to exercise 1. We're going to have a go at firstly calculating the ratio of nouns to verbs. So identify all the nouns, identify all the verbs. Then I want you to have a go at rewriting this into plain language.